Just Seen It is made possible by Adobe and the Adobe Creative Cloud, including Adobe Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and After Effects. More information is available at bit.ly/AdobePTV. Jack Dunlevy is a no-nonsense military man.
Why would you make me do that? Anything worth doing in life is going to be scary.
When his wife decides to go back to law school, he becomes a stay-at-home dad.
You're 16. Whoever this girl is, she's not the one. I mean, hell, when you get married, there's a 50% chance you're going to get divorced, so even the one might not be the one. It's a coin flip.
But his approach to childbearing is a bit unconventional in Surviving Jack.
Hi, I'm Brenna, here with Aaron and Salim to talk about Surviving Jack, the new single-camera sitcom on Fox. We've all just seen it. Salim, how about you start us off?
Sure. This is actually based on a book called I Suck at Girls by Justin Halpern, starring Chris Meloni, and showrun by Bill Lawrence, who we know from Scrubs, and probably one of my favorite underrated shows, Clone High. I actually really love this show. It's funny, it's hilarious, it's got tons of 90s anecdotes that just honestly sing on screen.
There's a show on TV right now that's doing that. It's called Growing Up Fisher, and it's on NBC. And then there's also a show on ABC called The Goldbergs, which takes place in the 80s, and the 80s is a character similar to how the 90s is a character in this one. Now, that's not to say that all of these 90s jokes aren't funny. They're probably the best part of the show, especially because I grew up in the 90s, so when you have characters playing American Gladiator in their living room, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not the most original concept in the world. I think that the 90s jokes and Meloni's great performance will keep it, you know, in the positive, but it needs to improve a little bit.
I think the 90s jokes are slightly more relevant towards the trend of nostalgia we have going on now than the 80s. So I think that it's something that's going for it, even though some of the jokes feel really forced in. Like some of them work, like the American Gladiator, and then you have these characters talking about Milli Vanilli. That felt really forced.
But what I liked is that it could have gotten extremely derivative very easily, but I thought that it was conscious enough with the jokes, and specifically with Chris Meloni's character, to keep it from being as derivative as it could have been.
With the father-son dynamic, they leave out a very important character, which is the mother, played by Rachel Harris. And because of focusing on the father-son dynamic, you completely waste somebody as hilarious as Rachel Harris.
Yeah, and
I'm sure they'll give her something to do.
I mean, they brought her back at the expense of the premise in the second episode.
Yeah, well, I do like the show. I just think that it's a little formulaic, and there is enough stuff around all of the normality and the stuff I see every day to grant it a viewing, and certainly Christopher Meloni as the patriarch of this family is I think, the whole reason to watch. I mean, he's had tons of great roles before. People probably know him best from Law & Order SVU. He was most recently in 42. But he's great. He's probably the main reason to watch the show because his character is kind of a jerk, but ultimately he's a good father. And in the second episode, we really see that come into play. The first episode, he's kind of a jerk the whole time until the very, very end. But pilots are always a little rough.
New ground rules for carpooling. No eating, no seat drumming, just silence.
Poquito demasiado.
Pain. Ow! What the hell was that?
Mikey feels that speaking in Spanish is kind of like telling secrets, so whenever George speaks Spanish, Mikey brings the pain.
Michael, is there anything I can say to make you not do that? Nope. Fair enough.
It's almost like a comedy version of his character in SVU.
Yes, it's
his relationship with his daughter in SVU.
Because he embodies this no nonsense. He's a surgeon,
ex-military.
He's like, I'm a doctor. I see people who have real problems every single day. So what you're telling me is problems is not real problems.
You guys kick it on the baseball team.
It's like, oh, okay,
all right, let me
cry me a river.
But I think Chris Meloni's performance is really what's going to bring people back.
Oh,
if they come back.
That's
the 90s jokes are just like a nice bit of seasoning on top. But it's really all about his performance.
His son Connor Buckley is okay also.
I thought he was charming.
He is.
Yeah.
He's got a quirk to him. He does kind of make some awkward facial expressions from time to time.
And he looks like a teenager.
That's what I was going to say. He's not a Zac Efron. He's not High School Musical.
He's a tall, gangly teenager.
Tall, gangly. And he's kind of a nerd with his friend group. I love the friend group, the fact that he's got a, Latino friend and, another friend who's kind of awkward, wearing a No Fear t-shirt, which I love.
I wanted to bring back the Jinko jeans.
Here's a scenario. George got stabbed by one of those hobos you robbed. You've got to get him to the hospital before he bleeds out.
But wouldn't I just call 911?
911 isn't working.
So this is like the apocalypse or something?
Just sack up and get from here to our house in 5 minutes. Save George. Go, 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 go!
So there's great messages.
Yeah.
It's a great story. The 90s jokes are hilarious. The 90s music is even better. The way they integrate the music into what is happening in the scenes is fantastic.
And with all of these 90s jokes, the production design of the show is great too. We feel like we're in the 90s. The clothing represents it. You know, there's a joke in the pilot episode where our main character has one of those shirts that changes color when it's subjected to heat.
Exactly.
And, just great stuff all around.
Yeah, you know, they set up things in these episodes and they follow them throughout the entire show, which I definitely appreciate.
It's on its way. It's on shaky ground now. It's trying to find its characters. It's trying to reconcile its premise with having a character, like with having an actor like Rachel Harris. I think it can go places. It's time to see where it goes.
Surviving Jack does have some heart, but more importantly, it has a lot of hilarious 90s jokes. Still, it can improve, so for now, I'll say stream it.
A wonderful showcase of Chris Meloni's comedic chops and a great portrayal of the awkward 90s. See it.
Surviving Jack isn't all that in a bag of chips, but it's not totally bogus either, so I say stream it.
Well, our votes add up to 2 tickets, which is a stream it for Surviving Jack.
Cheers.
Cheers!
Hey, you guys want to go pick up a pair of jellies?
As if.
AJA Video Systems, proud supporter of Just Seen It, offers a wide range of professional acquisition and post-production solutions. Learn more at aja.com/PTV.